Strike Commando tells the story of Sergeant Michael Ransom, who is ordered to go back behind enemy lines to obtain proof of a Russian presence in North Vietnam. In the process, he gets captured and subjected to all kinds of tortures. He eventually escapes and seeks revenge on his former captors while also having to deal with a potential traitor in his midst. So thus we are treated to a series of gunfights, fistfights, big explosions, and unintended hilarity. The main thing I could say about Strike Commando, it is in fact a terrible film, but man is it ever fun and entertaining. The action is suitably ridiculous as Reb Brown's character basically lays waste to everything in front of him every time he plucks out that machine gun and starts blasting off, being all badass and yelling at the top of his lungs. Acting wise, his performance is very over the top, especially when he tries to showcase emotion while consoling a dying child by telling him about Disneyland. That is a scene worth seeing, especially his ability to yell out the name Jakota over a long period in only one breath. As for the rest of the cast, the only other standout is Alex Vital, who basically plays Jakota, the main Russian baddie. He basically speaks with this strange Russian accent and mostly refers to Reb Brown as Amerikansky. I don't know if Russian people actually do that, but it sounds really ridiculous, especially when he's pushed down a waterfall where he yells Amerikansky. I mean, that is this film is hilarious sometimes. I mean, I could talk about a lot of the scenes, but I don't want to spoil all of them. I mean, that is not even the best scene in the movie. Story-wise, this is basically a Rambo ripoff. Specifically, it rips off Rambo 2. It even shamelessly lifts scenes exactly from that film. And I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Missing in Action starring Chuck Norris is also in here somewhere. However, there are like two problems I have with the film, if you can believe it. A bad movie that I have problems with, or that I consider flaws. I think I'm being a little too nitpicky, but anyway. The one problem is the silliness. Of course, this film is silly from beginning to end, and suitably so. But sometimes it gets a little too silly where you find it a bit annoying, or sometimes going, no, that didn't work. Or I don't know if anything is supposed to work in this film, but you do kind of feel yourself doing that. The other issue is that there is a slight case of repetitiveness where you hear a lot of the characters basically say the same thing in multiple different sentences. Aside from that, this film is definitely worth seeing. It certainly falls under the category of it's so bad it's good. Reb Brown's performance really makes this movie, although the rest of the cast, no actor is really terrible. The only other standout, like I said, is Alex Vital playing Jakota. And to my surprise, when I logged into IMDb to basically see what other people thought of it, I discovered that it has a sequel, Strike Commando 2, starring Brent Huff as Michael Ransom, which is kind of like an odd casting choice. Because here, Reb Brown is blonde, and I know Brent Huff is brunette. So basically, our hero not only changes hair color, physiques, and faces, he basically changes altogether. And I think it's also worth mentioning that this film is directed by Vincent Dawn, also known as Bruno Mattei. That is basically his real name. Now, he has directed a lot of films that basically rip off other films. The most notable ones are basically Shocking Dark, which was named Terminator 2 in other countries. I'll give you a guess as to what film it rips off directly and rather shamelessly. But otherwise, and honestly, Strike Commando is a terrible film. Quite frankly, the only reason to praise it is because of how terrible it is, because that is what makes it great, if it makes sense to anybody. So overall, I had a good time with this movie, and I would recommend it to those fans of films that are so bad they're good. However, if you don't like these type of films, chances are you'd probably just find it plain terrible. But otherwise, in all honesty, I would give this film a solid 5.2 out of 10 based on entertainment value alone. So have you seen Strike Commando, and what did you think about it? Did you like it more? Did you like it less? Did you find it so bad it's good, or did you just find it plain terrible? Also, what is your favorite Rambo clone of all time? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see more and click the bell to stay up to date. If you really enjoyed it, you can show your approval by clicking the like button below, and I would really appreciate it. And until the next time, I'll see you guys later.